Hello everyone, so welcome to our channel, Hong Kong Work Marketplace. So today we're going to have an interview with my good friend from Russia, Elizabeth.
Hello everyone.
So I met Elizabeth in Hong Kong, right?
Yes.
Or in Guangzhou? I forgot.
Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, okay. Because one of my good friend, Eric, just went to Elizabeth hotel, right?
Yeah.
For staying for like couple days. So that's how we met. So how long you've been, staying in Hong Kong actually?
Well, I'm in Hong Kong nearly 1 year.
Yeah. 1 year?
Yes, nearly 1 year.
But before came to Hong Kong for staying and work, so you've been staying in China, in Guangzhou, right?
Yes.
For a couple months, so for 1 or 2 years?
Yes, I've lived in China for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's your experience there in the mainland China or in Hong Kong? So what's your experience?
Well, I can say that it's quite a different experience living in China and Hong Kong. And it's quite interesting that it's very close, but there's so many things are different that make my life and my emotions are very diverse. So
Very diverse because you got homesick, right?
sometimes yes, but I think nowadays at this moment I really eager to travel more, meet more people and explore more. So I think I'm not really homesick. Yes.
But why you make a decision? Because you moved out of China and you went to Hong Kong for work since last year, right?
Right.
So why you have such kind of mindset?
Well, because I was, as I mentioned, I've been living in Guangzhou, and it was very easy just to take a high-speed train and travel to Hong Kong for 1 day trip. And I've been quite impressed by Hong Kong, by this landscape, these beautiful skyscrapers,
Or the tall buildings?
Tall buildings, the scenery, the lightning show, of course. It's just so heart-taken. Yeah. So and it's funny that in just 1 hour in high-speed train you get into a completely different environment. And the most important it was that people are able to speak English in Hong Kong, which makes your life much easier than living in
terms
China.
of English speaking standard, is it better in Hong Kong than in the mainland China?
Of course, yeah, it makes my life easier because in China I used to play the game Guess What I Try to Show You because I couldn't speak much language. Mandarin, yes. So
Do you want to learn Mandarin actually?
I think, it's one of the powerful languages nowadays, and of course the biggest population all over the world speaks Mandarin. I think it's quite a useful language to learn, and I can say, being from the other language establishment, that it's quite hard for foreigners to learn Mandarin, and it makes you feel proud if you can speak a little bit or understand what Chinese people can speak. Yes, even though sometimes I use Mandarin in Hong Kong when people can't speak English, but they still can speak Mandarin, and that sometimes helps me to get something what I want with the language knowledge. Yes.
But in Hong Kong we speak our own dialect, so which is called Cantonese.
Right.
Do you speak Cantonese as well?
More.
A little bit, 少少啊. Yeah. So who teach you Cantonese here? You self-learned it?
Well, I'm quite easy to immerse in a different environment, and I could say I'm very bilingual. I like to learn languages, and I'm quite easy to catch up. So because I'm here working, and I used to work, I'm working with the local people, and they keep speaking with each other, of course, Cantonese. So sometimes I'm just curious and asking what you're talking about, or how I can ask this in Cantonese. And sometimes I'm trying to learn it because it's always good to learn new language, because that helps you to understand more about the local culture and understand what people think or what they feel, or actually the simple but very important things that you can make them feel so happy just because you're trying to speak their own language, and they understand that it's quite hard for foreigners. Yes.
But do you get any feelings about culture shock, because the food, the transportation, the place where you live are so different from Russia to comparing with China in Hong Kong?
Yeah, of course. I had so many different cultural shocks in different ways. Like Of course, being living in Hong Kong after being living in China, it's a different experience than if I would be moving straight from Russia to Hong Kong. So there are so many things I can compare and understand more, because I think Hong Kong is quite modified Asian culture where you can get Western and Chinese culture together. While the development of Hong Kong...
You mean the infrastructure, our public transportation, etc.?
No, I'm talking about the culture. And if talking about the transportation, economic development, things, the quality of life, I can say that I'm very admired and excited by this, because it's a really big difference compared to country I'm from. And
How about your hometown? What it looks like?
my hometown is quite interesting place. I'm from one of the cleanest towns in entire Russia. So if we directly translate the name of my city, it's called White City due to its architecture. It's most of the buildings are white and it's quite green. Of course, the big cultural shock for me in Hong Kong was space. It's quite narrow. And
A very tiny place?
Very tiny place,
Including the toilet?
well, everything, exactly.
Everything, okay.
Yes, everything. And it's quite shocking, I can say, because where you came from, the biggest country in the world, and you have so many space, and this is just the opposite experience. But if you're quite flexible, easygoing, and broaden-minded, then you can find always advantages and skip uncomfortable things. Because I think the positive approach always help you to overcome any difficulties or somehow to rise up your mood and just keep going. Otherwise, I would have to stay home in Russia and don't go anywhere if I would have this mindset.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about food and weather? Because some of my good friends, they're coming from like the US or the Netherlands. They don't like Hong Kong food at all, and they think that Hong Kong is too hot in summer. They just can't stand it.
I can say that I'm a bit strange Russian. Well, I can admit that because I really like hot weather, which is strange. But on the other hand, there are so many advantages of living in this tropical climate, because it's very easy to get dressed. You don't have to think much of clothes you have to match, because you just have to wear shorts and t-shirt, and your wardrobe is much tinier, smaller than if compared with Russia, because we got 4 seasons. Yes, so I really like the climate and I like warm weather. And what's surprising that when it's raining, it's quite short, so the weather can change so often during the day. It sometimes looks like someone just switching the button on the remote, and it's so funny. You can't really rely on the weather you see right now from the window, because you know that in 5 minutes it could be raining and then sunny again.
Yeah.
So
just like today.
Yeah, like today. And actually, it's also quite shocking for me. It's part of the cultural, not cultural shock. It's part of the
climate change.
Exactly. Yes. And about the food. Well, I like Asian food, and I can say it takes me time to get used to the taste, not seeing salt and pepper on the table, instead soy sauce and some spicy sauce.
Remember, we've been to one of the Chinese restaurants. We ate dim
very
sum
local,
in
exactly.
Mayfu.
Oh, I think dim sum is one of the favorite food of me, of mine. And actually, I think it's one of the favorite food for most of the foreigners, because it's quite plain, the taste, not really spicy, and I can say it's quite healthy, and it's really tasty and very unique. I can say it's like kind of authentic to see this like steamed food in this circle. I don't know.
You mean the plate we had, because we usually had a dim sum at the round table.
Yes.
But you know, in Western cultures, usually, you know, everybody, you know, you guys won't share dishes, right?
We won't.
Yeah, but in Chinese cultures, we want to share everything.
This is also quite shocking, because
you have your own dishes and I have my own dishes.
Yes.
We never share.
Well, maybe it's also. It's interesting that actually you can roll the table.
Yeah.
And you have to be quite quick, otherwise the second round might not be. This is it. And also about the ability to use chopstick, right? So you have to learn fast, otherwise.
Can you use chopsticks now?
Yeah, I use my skills to use chopstick quite advanced. I can say I even can eat noodle from the soup and it won't go back. It was quite challenging, very challenging, especially when you're hungry and you got only chopstick and then you really can't eat the food because it keeps going down back in the plate and seems like it's endless dinner because you really can't grab. Yeah, but. I think Chinese food also, what I'm also amazed about the food in Hong Kong or in China, that there's so many different types of food that you can't even imagine how many of the choice, because while the food from my country quite comparatively limited compared to the diversity of the Chinese cuisine. Yes, according to the region. Right?
How about some of the typical famous local Hong Kong food, like egg tart, dang tart?
Egg tart. Even though today I had fishball, I really like fishball. Just sometimes walking on the street and having some snack. I like fishball with the soy sauce, and like today I had for the breakfast mooncake with the egg
really?
yolk inside. Yes.
You eat mooncake as your breakfast?
As my breakfast, yes. So I had a cup of coffee, which is westernized more, and then local Chinese mooncake. And I think all the time when I eat some local food, I can feel better culture of this place. So I think it doesn't matter where you travel, you must try local food to understand more the culture and the place itself. And it's always good to have opportunity to interact with the local people because they are the best who can show you some hidden places and spots that you would never ever find in the internet. Yes.
I do. During your spare time, because I know you're working in a hotel now, so it's quite exhausting. But what would you like to do in Hong Kong during your spare time?
So I'm quite amazed about Hong Kong diversity of things you can do, like hiking. You can go completely in pure nature, seeing very beautiful landscapes.
I remember you went to the Dragon's Back.
Yeah, I did. This was my first hike in Hong Kong Dragon's Back. Actually quite easy and very scenic view. And after some time, I've done paragliding on the Dragon's Back. So it's really amazing place. And also there is my favorite beach spot. It's called Shek O. So I like this place because it's not as crowded as maybe other public beaches, and it has so beautiful view combined with the sea and mountains, and it get my my favorite local shop selling Yudan tofu, and yeah, it's so it make it so unique. The place and the taste. Yes.
How about some outlet islands like Lemma Island, Gao, Dongchong? Have you been there?
Yeah, this is also amazing because you supposed to go to the pier in the central, get into the boat and seeing these skyscrapers, IFC, and just in 40-30 minutes you are in completely different environment. Yeah. It's unbelievable. You are in a very local place, in a very tiny island, and it gives you completely different experience compared you just being in central, seeing the skyscraper. It's like, it's so shocking again that can just, I mean, for me, it looks more like I have to fly somewhere to get in these kind of places, but I just take a boat and it takes 30 minutes. Yeah. Yes.
Have you been to Discovery Bay before?
Yes, I've been there once, and it looks like some very Western American style state, I can say.
Maybe a small town?
Small town, yes. Yeah. Yes, or for example...
There's a beach there?
There is a beach. There are so many Western restaurants on the waterfront. And
it's very different from where you live now, because you're in the Wan Chai area now. So it's very local, in Wan Chai.
I think it's quite local, but on the other hand, it's quite westernized because I think of the companies based on the Wan Chai. I got to see so many different people, and because I think it's famous for food in Wan Chai, either for Western or local. Yes, you can find Shanghai noodle, dumplings, very traditional Chinese dumplings, or you can get in some feather and bone, one of the best steakhouses. So it's like oh, you can buy Tesla in the next outlet. It's amazing. You can have a shop with selling bolo bao, and then the next shop is selling Tesla or Rolls Royce. It's unbelievable that everything in such a small place and area, and it takes you few minutes or maximum hour to get to the other part of the Hong Kong and get to see completely different environment. It's so.
It seems you're so amazed
I'm very amazed
for the diversity of Hong Kong.
Yeah, for example, sometimes during my day off, I could do everything. In the morning, I go hiking, and then from the hike, I'm going down for swimming, and then I see beautiful sunset on the beach, and then I go back to TST or Tamar Park, and I just go to nice rooftop bar, and everything within one day. And sometimes when I send out pictures to my friends sharing how I spend my time, they say, oh, you're doing very nice. Was it different days you traveled to those places? And I said, no, I did it within one day. And they're like, what? It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Because in Hong Kong, you can have a very packed and very intensive schedule every day. Yeah, as you said, you could do some hiking and swimming, and maybe in the afternoon you could hang out with friends. This is what we Hong Kong local people had every day. Too busy.
Too busy, yeah.
Everybody in Hong Kong is busy, right? Isn't it?
I think yes. I think Hong Kong equal the word busy.
We walk fast, do things fast.
Everything is fast. Sometimes I just started to think about something, but people already done.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable because no time, busy, fast, fadi.
We got a high efficiency.
High efficiency, exactly.
Very quick for everything, but it is what you pursue in your life.
I can say that I've learned a lot of skills, would be very helpful for my personal and professional development with this kind of lifestyle. Yes, and it's something that I haven't used to it in my culture and in my country, because I can say that we are not as fast because we just don't have to.
More sort of like a laid back style.
I think we are just in the middle. Not as laid back as Australians, but not as fast as Asians. Yes, so in the middle. I think we are quite. We can adapt to different environment. Yes.
So maybe next time, Elizabeth, you could be the host and interview me. So ask me about something about Russia.
That would be nice, because I can ask you what is your impression of
Russia?
Being in touch with the Russian people. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So thank you for watching. So if you like the video, please leave your comment, share, and like. So see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye.